got so pride, I do. Things get better with time. Yet so never undying as a haiku. These thoughts never can die. These tears never gonna dry when I lose you. Some hearts double inside. Your short head grow inch line like the Grinch do. I don't have time cause the rain's too. Factor in lines that are bear fruit. On the way up, slugfest.
Welcome back to the Monday Evening Football Daily Show presented by Monday Evening Football. It's also a little less daily nowadays. Hey, it's November 9th. We are happy to be back talking to some sports news with you guys. Let's just go ahead running around the NFL, see what's going on, see what's bobbing, see what's weaving, see what's happening, see what's jiving, all that good stuff, all right? Because we're here to bring you guys some NFL news, have a little fun, and we're the unofficial Pat McAfee pre-show, essentially, is what we aim to be. You know, kind of give you just like the highlights, bang, 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 that they're going to be going in more in-depth, if you know what I mean. Because they obviously do it very, 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 very well, and we just do it sort of well, but we're getting better. We're getting better. We appreciate any likes, any retweets that you might send our way as we kind of go down this journey of becoming one of the best sports shows to never grace the earth. But no, I'm kidding. But we have a great show for you today. Hey, a lot of stuff going around the NFL. A lot of stuff. The latest thing is, you know, talking about some injuries and that artificial turf that all these players hate, and they say, hey, it's a leading cause to these players, you know, just non-contact knee, ankle, and foot injuries. But the NFL says, whoa. Yeah, our data shows, our data that we do, you have an independent team come in. They're independent, all right. Our data shows that, you know, the injury rate is the same on grass as it is on turf. And this is the one thing I will say about the injuries on grass versus turf. It should not, as an NFL, if you care about player safety, it should not be about what does the data show here. It should be like, what do our players want to play on, and then we make that the surface. So if you have the majority of the NFL players wanting to play on grass, well, hey, that's just a simple thing that you can implement that makes the players happy, you know. But you got guys like Jerry Jones coming out and talking on whatever ho-dunk radio station they have down in Texas about, you know, we're not going to change our turf because, you know, the data doesn't suggest it. So if the data doesn't suggest it, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. You know, why would we do that? Why would we be a leader in the NFL when we can just you know, keep our nice Dallas turf that we have? You know, that, you know, injures guys the same amount as maybe that Chicago grass that they got out there in Soldier Field. So I think, you know, you want to have the best playing conditions out there for the players. You want the players to be confident in the playing conditions as well. I don't care what the data says, one way or the other. I mean, unless the data came out and explicitly said, like, oh, playing on grass field, your chances of injury goes up 75%, which obviously will never be the case. But if that's what the data said, I'm like, okay, then maybe we should switch all to turf. But it doesn't say that. Players feel more comfortable playing on grass. They feel like it has more give when they're cutting and breaking and bobbing and weaving. I would love to see another independent study to the independent study to see if what we are seeing is actual fact or fiction, because sometimes that goes around the NFL, and we got some more fact and fiction going around the NFL a little later today in this broadcast. It's a lot of stuff about injuries, you know, controversy, stuff like that we're excited to really just dive deep down into, and because at the end of the day, we don't want to see players getting injured, obviously. You know, don't want that. But I will say this. A guy who has been injured and is now back is that man himself, Odell Beckham. Fully cleared to play. And now we have another team entering the chat for the OBJ sweepstakes, and that would be the Dallas Cowboys. Nick Wright was reporting on Fox First Things First, whatever show that is, that the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones could be making a push for Odell. They see the Cowboys situation to be very similar to what the Los Angeles Rams situation was last year. Now, we've been doing Odell Watch for a couple of weeks now because it's been only getting, obviously Bills, Chiefs, throw those teams in there. Okay? Packers, I was talking to my good old buddy the other day, and he said, dude, they got to know they're getting OBJ. And I'm like, bro, I don't think they're getting OBJ with that record. Unfortunately. But there's a lot of teams still in the hunt that really could make a push for Odell. And it'll just be interesting to see, what Odell's, his mind frame is like. Mind frame, that's not the right terminology. Where is he at mentally, and what does he want to do? Does he just want to come in and just compete for another Super Bowl, get a ring? Or does he want to lock in 2-3-year contract? Because those are two very, very, very different situations that we have when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr. And, now that he's healthy, we'll see what happens. We'll see if he's trying to get there early or if he's going to wait another couple more games just to get that leg strengthened to really make an impact down the stretch. I would love to see it, maybe a year and a half contract, 2-year contract with the Packers maybe. Nice hometown deal, even though you're not a hometown kid. It don't matter. Odell, get to Green Bay, and that's from a Packers fan. We need you, buddy. We need you. We desperately need you. Talking about something that, a team might need, and that is those Saturday feels on the team. I know a lot of people probably already saw, we talked about it a little bit on Monday Evening Football, is that the Colts firing their head coach, hiring Jeff Saturday, the commander of that offensive line, and saying, hey, you could snap the ball in the NFL, you can coach in the NFL. And if you don't think so, I don't want you. But luckily, you do think so. So, hey, let's run it, baby. That's what Jim Irsay essentially saying like, hey, you can coach, you can manage personalities, you can do all these things. We've seen you on TV, we've seen you talking, you know the game well. Come in, coach this last end of the season. To be honest, I'm very optimistic of what Jeff Saturday is going to do as a coach for the Indianapolis Colts, no matter how long. I think what he's going to do with that offensive line, he's going to get it right. Because that offensive line was supposed to be great this year. They're not for some reason. So what better way to get that fixed than to bring one of your best offensive linemen that you've ever had in the history of the franchise and bring him in as head coach. And then start working, start grinding. Obviously, you have Johnathan Taylor, who still should be a guy, but a lot of it depends on how that offensive line works. So do I think Jeff Saturday is going to come in, get the boys right? I hope so. I hope so because I think it would make for a cool storyline. Plus, my buddy Vince is a Colts fan. He was optimistic about it. Had a really good breakdown analysis. I wish I had my notes here of what he said because as a Colts fan, it was something you probably wanted to hear. And as a Monday Evening Football daily show that's a little less daily, we probably should have had the notes with us, but we missed it this time. Hey, we'll get better. We'll be better. Next time, we won't miss those notes that come from my friends that are fans of these teams, and we'll put those out there. But I do apologize because we missed it. We missed it this time. We missed it. That's all we can say is, hey, we missed it. Speaking of missing it, man, did the Raiders miss on another first-round draft pick? It does appear so. Raiders are releasing former first-round safety Johnathan Abram. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do the things that the Raiders needed him to do to stay on the team, So, so Abram is subject to waivers. The safety is due over $100 million in base salary for the remainder of his final year on his rookie contract. Any claiming club will take the rest of his contract. So, maybe a guy that definitely gets picked up in waivers. I could see that happening. Number 27 pick overall in the 2019 Started the first 6 games this season, but lost his role in the defense. Sometimes that's going to happen. That's going to happen. You're going to miss on a guy once or twice. But it does seem like they don't have... The Raiders had 6 first-round picks from 2019 to 2021. Only defensive lineman Cleveland Farrell and running back Josh Jacobs remain with the club. So out of their 6 first-round picks, they only hit on 2 of them. Maybe. There's only 2 remaining from that those first-round picks from 2019 to 2021, which is not great. First of all, it's not great. And, like, you would hope that, okay, we missed on these first-round picks, but our second 2, 5th-round picks we cashed in on. But I don't know if that's necessarily the case based on how the Raiders' season has been going, unfortunately. But we'll see. We'll see. We just got to give it a little time, see if the Raiders can right that ship in a way, because it's not looking great for their draft classes, at least the first-round draft classes, It's not a good look for them. Speaking of people that, don't have a good look for them, that guy, Brett Favre, get raked through the mud. Well, deservingly, of course. Because apparently, it just didn't stop at stealing money from the welfares, from the good poor people of Mississippi. But he's reviews show that one of Favre's backed drug companies overstated benefits and connections with being able to help with concussions. So let me break this down, because I think this is going to be a pretty big thing going forward. So Brett Favre invested in 2 drug companies that were, let's see here, 2 drug companies that are in a lot of trouble, a lot of turmoil right now because of the money that Favre maybe have gave them, had connections with the welfare scandal. But these are 2 companies that, one has a nasal spray that can help cure concussions or some bullshit like that. I ain't gonna lie. It sounded like some bullshit when I heard it. He got a nasal... All right, here we go. He put $1 million of his own money, which who knows if it was his own money, which they are developing a nasal spray to treat concussions and a cream to prevent or limit them. Hey, now I ain't no snake oil salesman, but I am a salesman, and I know a snake oil salesman when I see him, and that's what we got right here. We talking about creams? What are we rubbing creams on our foreheads to prevent concussions or limit them? What are we taking nasal hits to, treat our concussions? Like, hey, I mean, I heard of nasal spray to treat some, snot that's, really clogged up your nose, but I've never heard no nasal spray to treat concussions. I mean, a great technology if the actual science is there and it does what it does, but, one, we got a lot of things not looking good in this situation. One, Favre invested money into your company. That's not great. 2, you sound like a snake oil salesman, and it's come out that you've had some, you were garnishing some interest in a couple of teams in the NFL. The NFL's Dr. Sills came out and said, "Hey, we don't advise for this company. We're not doing anything for them." The one company is called Van Landingham's Companies, and the other one, what's the other one? Let's see here. The other company, I think there was 2 companies. I'm trying to find the other company here for you guys. Okay, so Prevacus, and Presol MD were the 2 companies based out of Florida that Favre invested in. So, not looking great for Brett. I mean, this guy, it's just going from bad to worse. It's not great. But speaking going from bad to worse, obviously the Packers this past week lost to the Lions. It went from bad to worse. But Mark Murphy, he's still got hope. He's got that Scott mentality, baby. It don't matter how down we are, we always have a chance, and we gonna fight. We gonna fight till We are out of it. But we're not out of it, so we're going to play some football, Packers fans. Come on now. Cheer. I was saying it the other day. I was like, Packers fans, we just need to get in all these players' DMs and just send them messages of positivity and just say, hey, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Show our support. That's the one thing you can control as a fan. It's a very underestimated thing. People, I say it and people are like, yeah, that's stupid. You're not going to help. But, man, could you imagine a whole entire fan base that was just nothing but positive? And I get, you're most likely never going to get this, but, if fans were able to buy into this concept of, hey, I can actually help lift my team up, really lift them up with words of encouragement, all that shit, I think it'd be a long time before that team got beat. If you so so positively, so positively put it into the universe. You can talk about Aaron Rodgers throwing a couple interceptions, but when you're DMing him, you're just showing him the plays where he didn't throw an interception, he actually made the pass. You can show the same stuff or talk to the same points, but when it's working, not showing examples of when it's not working. When you're talking to those points and showing when it's working, man, that clicks something. We heard Aaron Rodgers talk about it on the Pat McAfee show, shout out, about how these younger receivers, he's trying to get a couple plays in their repertoire that they're able to go back into their mind and use as anchors, If we were showing plays of a pass to David Bakhtiari where he caught it and just in Rodgers' messages saying hey, you got it next time. We've seen you do it before. You could do it again, obviously. It ain't nothing but a thing. But I understand I am one of a few in that retrospect where, I think fans can make a very positive impact. Once these teams figure that out, maybe we'll start seeing some fan deals. Hey, we got this fan for signing for $100 million because he's the best. He's the best at what he does. And you know what? Am I saying I'm the $100 million fan? I am. Okay? Because it's just how my mind works. But yeah, Mark Murphy, he's not ready to give up on the season, which is awesome. And then obviously it's a bleak start. It's not great. But, you look back in the games, we have shot, I say as me, myself, and Packers fans and Packers team and coaching staff and front office and the organization as a whole, and the owners, all of them. I say this, yeah, we have made a lot of mistakes. We haven't coached the team the right way. Our quarterbacks hasn't, played like his normal self. He's made a few errors here and there, maybe trying to force some things, maybe not, Fans going crazy in every different direction. It's tough. But you got Mark Murphy. He's not ready to give up. He's like, hey, we just got to clean some stuff up, top to bottom. Make a couple catches here, get a drive, get another score. Allen Lazard, if he gets 2 tutters, in that game, then, hey, this is a completely different conversation. But, it looks bleak right now for Packers fans. And at this point, all I can say to the Packers fans, just let's let these Packers play ball. Let's just cheer them on. Let's just enjoy the rest of the season. You're hanging up too much too much of yourself on these Sundays, and you letting it affect your mood. Let's just enjoy the ball. Let's enjoy the ball being played. Okay, we don't need to analyze every single play. Let's just enjoy it, root for them, all that good stuff. I think if Packers fans do that, we'll make a wild card spot. Aaron Rodgers will be the 3-time MVP. Back-to-back-to-back MVP, because only one other player did that before, and that was none other than the man we talked about before, who was in scandalous territory, Brett Favre. So, did the Con Air thing mean anything? Did what was his name? What was the guy from Con Air that he dressed up like? Because did he have a rough start at the beginning, and then did it get so low, and then did it come up and then they make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl, and then this is the best ending of the movie ever? Was Aaron Rodgers foreshadowing a little bit? I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but I think I might be currently watching it as the Packers season. Maybe. 50-50. But that's all we got for the Monday Evening Daily Show today. We'll be back on Friday. And I got to shout out my guy Bobby. See if he wants to do a Friday football where we just talk about a lot of football going on over the weekend. But I'll talk to him. Hey, maybe. We'll see. 50-50. And yeah, I mean, other than that, go have yourself the best rest of your day. The best rest of your day. Make the rest of your day the best of your day. That type of shit. All right, we're out. We'll see you guys. Peace. Also, don't forget.